All right. This is my setting of Jesus Calls Us or the Tumult. I'm just going to play the guitar part through one time. We got capo on the 2nd fret. You could also play it in open E minor, but I've got the main guitar part as a capo too. So it should feel like D minor, but it'll sound like E minor. All right, here's the intro and verse 1. I'll go ahead and sing just for reference when I get to that verse 1. Jesus calls us o'er the tumult of our life's wild, restless sea. Day by day his sweet voice sounded, saying, Christian, follow me. All right, that's the intro, the verse, and then the little interlude in between. After verse 3, from each idol that would keep us saying, Christian, love me more. And then on the word more, it's going to go into a new sort of rhythm. For the right hand, it's going to sound like this. Kind of a Travis picking feel. Your thumb's going to be alternating between, on the D chord at least, it's going to be alternating between the D string and the G string. I don't know if you can see that there, but here's my D minor chord, thumb kind of alternating, and then the other fingers are talk a little bit about these voicings. This is a D minor chord, G minor over D. See what I'm doing there? Just 2, 3, and 4, all on the highest 3 strings on the 3rd fret. But D is still that open D is still the bass note for that G minor over D. And here's the A suspended over D. Notice it's like an A suspended, but you got that D bass. So it's really a 2-finger chord there. It's hard to see. 1st finger and 3rd finger is all you need. And then you resolve it to A/D, A over D. Again, just a 2-finger chord. So that intro, that little interlude, 1 as I call it in the chart. Then you're going to keep that going into verse 4. In our joys and in our sorrows. Verse 5 has a slightly different melody when we get to it. The second half of the melody is just, it resolves differently. So let's look at that. Jesus calls us by thy mercies, Savior, may we hear thy call. Give our hearts to thine obedience, serve and love thee best of all. Okay, messed up one part. Thine obedience. So you could do that little bass thing there, coming off that D minor chord, going into the B flat. One more time in context. Give our hearts to thine obedience, serve and love thee best of all. All right, real quick, I just want to go through the voicings. I think I'm going to try and make a chart that just spells out all the guitar voicings. But for now, to just explain them, I'm going to go through verse 1. I think you've gotten just about everything you need already, so now I'm going to go into a little more depth onto each chord. So here's obviously D minor, just normal D minor. The G minor over D, I like to keep that third finger pivoted or anchored there. We're going to use that as a pivot finger. 2 is going to scoot over to the 3rd fret, and then you're going to add the pinky also on the 3rd fret of the high E string. That's G minor over D. Back to D minor. For A7/D, one real quick note about the voicings that are spelled out on your chart. They reflect more the vocal harmonies than they do the actual guitar. So sometimes it's than the guitar voicings. So sometimes, even though it says A7/D, I don't actually play the 7th of that chord. I just do a normal A chord over D. Okay. Somebody in the harmony is singing a 7th, but again, that I'm not actually going to play that on the guitar. So we got and that's going to happen for a lot of these chords. I'm saying a bigger chord than we're actually playing with some extra notes that we won't be playing. I'll just be aware of that. D minor, G minor over, and then over D, and then D minor again. Here's that A over D. D suspended 4/2. We're just doing a 2, D2. And then we're going to do a D minor over C. You could do this full D minor chord with that C on the bass, D minor/C. But I do this. I'm going to play the C with my first finger, the A on the G string, 2nd fret with my first finger, and then 3rd finger on the D of the B string. So I'm not actually playing a 3rd in this chord, but that's kind of because of where I'm about to go with it. Again, somebody will be singing that minor 3rd in the vocal harmonies. I just do this, then G over B, and then G over B flat. This is like a G minor over B flat. But notice it's just a 2-finger chord. I'm just going from this D over C, G over B, just a 4-note chord, just the middle 4 strings, down to that G over B flat, or G minor over B flat, technically, and then that E diminished over B flat. Just going to add that 2nd finger on the D string. That whole thing will sound like this. Okay, D over F sharp, you could do a couple ways. Obviously, you could do this. The way I like to do it in this context is to do 2nd finger on the F sharp. We're again playing a D over F sharp. I like the 2nd finger on the F sharp, 3rd finger on the A of the G string, pinky on the D of that B string. I'm not playing the high E string. In music theory, often if you're playing the 3rd of the chord as the bass note, you don't in the right hand on piano, for example, you wouldn't actually play the 3rd on the right hand. So on guitar, I like to do the same thing, playing that low, the 3rd of the chord on the bottom, so I don't bother to play it on top as well. So with that music theory aside, essentially I'm just gonna use a three-finger chord, 2nd finger on the 3rd, like that. I like this voicing in particular because we're going to go to a D7 over F sharp. So this fingering allows that to happen. I'm going from a normal D over F sharp to a D7 over F sharp. And that sounds great. You end up playing the alto line that way. And then G minor, from the D over F sharp, or D7 over F sharp, we're going to slide both my 2nd finger and my 3rd finger over. That G minor. I'm not going to do a full bar, Just going to do second finger, open D string, skipping the A string, muting that. Open D string, third finger on the B flat, pinky on the fifth. And again, it's another 4-note chord. Root, skip, muting the A string, fifth, minor third, and then the fifth. So, and then normal A chord, yay, a normal chord. And then B flat, rather than do a full bar, which would work really well too, I do first finger on the A string, open D string, it's like you're playing the third there, pinky on the octave, and then major third is going to be with your, third finger on the octave, pinky on the major third here, and just a four string chord here for that B flat. Okay, for E flat over G, the way I want you to think of it, it's like a D over F sharp chord, like we did a second ago. And this fingering is sort of important here, because what we're going to do is that same chord up a half step. So instead of D over F sharp, we're going to play E flat over G. In order to pull that off, you have to use this fingering. You're going to scoot it up to the E flat over G, and your first finger is going to play that E flat. So the whole thing, your first finger is sort of like a capo at this point, but you don't need to do a full bar. You really just need that D string happening. So that's that E flat over G. That's a Neapolitan second chord. And then we've got this D minor over A. Which you could do this way with a normal D minor with an A bass. But I like the lower voicing here. So instead of playing the F natural up here, I play it down here on the D string, a little darker sounding, and then we resolve it, or not resolve it, we move on to that A suspended, which I'm doing like a bar, but I'm leaving my pinky from the previous chord down. It looks like I got a lot of fingers there, but it's really just two. So here's the D minor over A, and then here's the A suspended, resolved, just using a bar for that A. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. I'll try and I'll do a chart that has actual guitar voicings on it. That'll help you with that. All right. Thank you.